Hello everyone, myself Krishna. In this video, I am going to explain classic Excel activities like Excel application scope activity in UiPath Studio. So let's get started. To work with classic Excel activities in UiPath Studio, we need three prerequisites. One is we need to install Microsoft Excel in your system. Second one, we need to install UiPath Excel activities package from the manage packages. And third one, we need to enable the classic activities in the activities panel. Then we are good to use the classic Excel activities in UiPath Studio. Excel application scope activity. Excel application scope is a container. It will create a connection to the provided Excel path. Inside the Excel application scope, we can do the whatever the Excel operation that you wanted to do on the provided Excel path. Usually for the Excel operations, we would use the Excel extensions like .xls, .xlsx and .xlsm, right? So the classic Excel activities will support these three extensions files. So let's verify these three extensions files using the Excel application scope. I have selected .xls file. Inside the Excel application scope activity, I will going to take one log message, and here I am going to mention the message as started. If I run the process and if you find the started message in the output panel, that means the Excel application scope is able to create a connection to the provided Excel path, and inside the Excel application scope we can apply the Excel operations on the provided Excel path, right? So let's run the process and verify the started message in the output panel. We can find the started message in the output panel, right? So that means the classic activities can work with .xls extensions files. Now change the file. Now I have selected .xlsm, that means macro enabled Excel file. Now let's run the process and verify the started message in the output panel. So in the output panel we can find the started message, so that means the classic Excel activities will support the .xlsm file extensions as well. Now I have selected .xlsx file. Let's run the process. We can see started message, right? So this means the classic Excel activities will support .xls, .xlsx, .xlsm extension Excel files. The best part in using the classic Excel activities is even if you open the input Excel file, the classic activities will not throw an exception. So let me show you this scenario. This is the input file that I have provided. I have opened this file, right? Now let's go back to the UiPath Studio and run the process. Let's see what will happen. So it is not throwing any exception, right? So let's make it as a edit mode. Now let's go back to the studio and run the process. So still it is not throwing any exception. Using the classic Excel activities, you can open the Excel or you can keep the Excel in edit mode, so the Excel activities will not throw an exception. Now let's talk about the properties are available for the Excel application scope. Password. In case If the input Excel file is password protected, we need to mention that password here. So let me show you how we can create the password for the Excel. So we need to go to the file, click on info, click on protect workbook, click on encrypt with password. So here we need to provide the password and re-enter the password. Click on OK, and let's reopen the Excel file. So it is asking for the password, right? So this password we need to mention here. So before entering the password, so let's run the process and let's see whether this Excel application scope will give the error or not. So the Excel application scope is giving an error because it is a password protected, right? Now let's enter the password and let's run the process. Now it is working fine, right? Edit password. In case for the Excel modifications, if you set any password in the Excel, that password we need to set in the edit password section. We will discuss this edit password in the upcoming videos. Create if not exists means in case if the provided Excel path is not available, and if you enable this option, the new empty file will be created in the provided Excel path. So let's change the file name. So basically this file name is not available in the mentioned path, right? So first run the process and let's see what will happen. It is throwing an exception, and if you open the error message, so it is saying that the provided Excel path was not found, right? So if you enable this option, so the Excel application scope activity will verify this path is available. If available, it will not create a new file. In case if the file is not available, it will create a new empty file with the provided Excel name in the provided path. So let's run the process and verify the output. So now we are not getting any exception, and if you go to the project folder, so the new file got created. So here the empty sheet got created inside the Excel file, right? Instance catch period means how much time you want to Excel session to be alive. By default it is 3 seconds, but if you want you can increase this time. Macro settings. So basically if you are working with macros or VBA, then these settings will be useful. So here we can have three options are available: enable all, disable all, use Excel's existing settings, right? So as per our need, we can select these options. Read only means the Excel file will open in the read only mode. So in this case, we can extract the Excel information, but we cannot modify the Excel data. Save changes. That means in case if you are modifying the Excel data, like removing the columns data, removing the rows data, deleting the sheet, renaming the sheet, or updating the cell value, for those scenarios, if you enable the save changes, the changes will automatically saved. Start as a process. If you enable this option, the Excel file will be opened as a separate process. Visible means The input Excel file will be open and we can see all the Excel operations that we placed inside the Excel application scope. If you disable the visible, whatever the activities that we placed inside the Excel application scope, those operations will be happen at the back end. So we can create the output for the Excel application scope. So here I am going to create the Excel workbook. So in case if you wanted to do some kind of Excel operations on the same Excel in the different workflow, then we can use this Excel workbook variable instead of providing the Excel path, right? So let me show you that option. So here I am going to take another Excel application scope. Usually for the Excel application scope, we will going to provide the Excel path, right? But we can provide the Excel workbook in the existing workbook property, right? So let me take another log message. Here I am going to mention the log message as, right? So let's run the process and verify the output. In the output panel, we can see the two log messages that we mentioned in the two Excel application scopes, right? This way, we can work with Excel application scope in UiPath Studio. Hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.